And you know, it's that old thing. So when you run out of arguments, the old days, when you were against apartheid, you were called a communist. Now, if you're against corruption, how do you defend against being called a racist? How do you defend it? You can call anybody a racist. Great. Luckily, I've never been called that in public, never been called that in private, and luckily my friends know that it doesn't exist. And I actually take a bit of exception to that.
An enigmatic and even hated figure, Rupert remains bullish about
Africa's second richest person with a net worth of 11.7 billion. The billionaire is the family's investment vehicles chairman, owns Remgro holding company with more than 30 firms under its umbrella, including FirstRand, Unilever South Africa, and RMB Holdings. Born to a millionaire manufacturer, his father, a self-made businessman, created Rembrandt Group, which is a tobacco firm, in 1948. Johann enrolled into a university, however, did not complete that education. Instead, he moved to New York City, where he worked as a trainee at Chase Manhattan. After approximately 5 years, he returned to South Africa and founded Rand Merchant Bank and rejoined the family company once the bank merged with Rand Consolidated Investments a few years later.
Don't you think it's high time that we as South Africans start talking to each other instead of shouting at one another? Our country's not in great shape. The rest of the world don't really care about us. If we don't talk and listen across the board, I'm not sure that, I'm sorry to say that we as South Africans can always rely upon politicians.
First, an attempt to deal with the elephant in the room.
A white, yes. Monopoly, show me a monopoly we've ever had. Just one, please. If somebody could show me one monopoly. I've tried my best, but I've failed. Look at the monopolies in the country. Monopolies are called SAA, Enroots, Eskom. Have a look at monopolies, and then they call me a monopolist. Obviously, there needs to be an opportunity in the market. It's no good trying to do something for which there's no market.
Sure.
After that, obviously, strategic planning. But all the best strategic plans in the world fall apart if there's not attention to detail and proper execution. we're going to outperform Europe, we're going to outperform the United States, is when these professors finish with their experiment of negative interest rates. When Lionel, we discussed.
We did.
Greece got paid to borrow money 2 weeks ago. Sorry, I'll repeat that. They paid Greece money to borrow.
The country that was almost crashed out of the Eurozone. Just to go back, one little thing. On South Africa, do you think the figure of 500 billion rand is correct, or is a trillion rand correct when describing the amount stolen during the Zuma years?
Firstly, somebody said President Ramaphosa said $1 trillion. He didn't say $1 trillion.
Could be.
Yeah, it could be, but we don't know yet. It could be, yes. It could very well be. Now, I think we all agree that excess leverage exacerbated the problem. But why? I believe that when anything is mispriced, it gets abused. In England, they don't really have the same water metering system as we do. So believe it or not, although it rains there all the time, they have water shortages. These people don't care. You will abuse what's not correctly priced.